This video is going to be on why age is the new disability for employment in the United States. This is part of my ongoing series on age discrimination in jobs. But before I get started, I want to include a little intellectual disclaimer on this video. I do believe age is a legal and a social impediment to getting jobs now, especially in possibly the last 20 or 20-some years. But I want to distinguish between a legal disability and a mental and a physical disability. Many people in our society in the U.S. have a lot of problems with mental and physical disabilities and have had a really rough life, and I want to distinguish between the two. At the end of the day, if you can't get a job because of that, or you can't get a job because of age, you still can't get a job. So the effect is the same, and that's what I'm getting at. Therefore, age is a legal disability as an impediment to be able to get a job in this country when it comes to a lot of people now in the workforce, especially from late 30s to 40s to 50s. So I just wanted to clear that up before I start. So here I go with my information in this video. Here we go. Age discrimination can cause disastrous consequences if you have to retire early or can't get a job. Age discrimination can also cause many workers to go on SSI, disability, which is SSDI, Medicaid, and/or welfare, thus increasing federal taxes for all of us. Basically, they could go on these programs 20 years before Social Security kicks in at 62. It's really age 45 versus almost age 65. I came up with the term, as far as I know, the 20-year gap. That's what I'm talking about. They're going on these federal programs way before Social Security kicks in because they can't afford to retire. I have talked about some of this in previous videos. A lot of disability claims are tied to ageism. The 20-year gap is becoming more problematic and a lot more common in our society. SSA considers age for SSDI or disability. Should people get disability based only on age? It's controversial, but I think if they can prove it on a substantial level, I would say yes. If you can prove it at a very heavy level, you should be able to do this. Right now, the SSA considers it as a factor to be able to get disability. I would estimate it's probably about 20 to 30% of it right now. Call Congress or your state representatives on this issue. We need total legal change on this issue, and I'm going to get into some of those theories now and later in the video. Trust me, corporations won't interview you past 50 or sometimes even past 40. Unless you know somebody in there or are dating somebody in there, good luck. Sometimes you have to be related to somebody now to even get a job. SSI could be reformed to let these people on. Companies can always figure out how old you are by a resume, Googling your name, hiring a private investigator, or hiring an employment agency to fill the job, which is very common now. For example, I had to lop dates off my resume when I was looking for jobs in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, per the advice of an employment agency in northern Ohio. I don't remember the name of the agency. They were good. They told me to lop dates off my resume in regards to graduation dates and other things with jobs as early as my late 30s. This was over 10 years ago, folks. It's a real big problem at much younger ages. Personally, I support a buyout system paid for by the corporations, which I've talked about in previous videos. The corporations are doing it, thus they are causing it. For example, if you had 5 years left in the workforce up to age 62 and you made $50,000 a year, you would get a $250,000 check and would leave the company. Possibly making it easier to sue under federal laws or state laws could be another possibility, but that is tougher to do. It would be easier just to give them a buyout created by the courts, enforced on the companies by legal precedent, either by laws or in the courts. The companies should have to pay here. This is the most common form of discrimination now for jobs. It is age, in my opinion. If you're a victim of this, consult a lawyer, preferably somebody that specializes in this or a labor attorney. Corporate buyouts make the most sense. Obviously, you'd have to have a federal agency to regulate this. If they could prove age discrimination, okay, fine. The company would let them go, but they would still get a buyout. It's already being done now since the 80s anyway, and heavily since the late 90s. Many of them walk out the door signing an NDA now anyways and take the money. Buyouts are common. That should be available to all age discrimination victims now. That would be the easiest way to go in our society, in my opinion. Do it through the courts now. Let them have buyouts in cash form on a check if they are the victims of this. Once again, thank you for your time. Please make a note, my next video is why the Democrats should become more like Canada's Liberal parties. Thanks again for your time. It's free to subscribe.